Madame Deneuve, I've got a question. Do you think Haute Couture is still alive and kicking?
Of course, we're here, aren't we? It's certainly not dead today.
It's really exciting to have things made on your body, and it always makes you feel really special.
It's the highest of styles. I love being here.
There's so much that goes into it. There's such an art, and so I feel very honored to be here at the Dior show. And in Paris, without kids and my husband, it's very nice.
Haute Couture is big business. After Louis Vuitton, the House of Dior is the second most lucrative brand within the LVMH luxury family, which in 2022 saw a turnover of more than 14 billion euros. Couture certainly means cash, but is it still shorthand for art?
Oh, absolutely. A designer is absolutely an artist, without a doubt. It's rather sociological as a career choice. It's a job where you have to understand different influences, where you're projecting a certain image of what it means to be a woman, or you're suggesting a certain vision of male-female relationships. That is subtle work. It demands sensitivity, intelligence, and analysis.
For her Haute Couture Summer 2023 collection, Dior's creative director Maria Grazia Chiuri wanted to pay homage to the elegant modernity of the Black Parisian jazz stars of the 1920s, and Joséphine Baker in particular.
I think that she was very important in French culture, and I think it was good to celebrate her because she was inside the resistance, like Catherine Dior too. We are not to forget that she was like a real client, that she went in all the different houses in Paris, couture house, to buy her wardrobe, and she come back in New York with this incredible haute couture wardrobe. And in some way, she promoted also the couture in the French couture in USA. So I think it's important to celebrate her. I think it's the most important period in the fashion because change the shape, take off the corset. It was a really revolutionary moment. And we are not to forget that in Paris was the center of the creativity. All the artists around the world come to Paris to be free, to express their artistic vision of the world. And in fashion is super important moment. I really love this period.
Last and one of my favorite collaborations with Dior and Maria Grazia was an ode to Joséphine Baker we did for the Met. And so to come into this collection and to see all of the incredible influences from Joséphine Baker to Nina Simone to some of the first supermodels, it was a beautiful collection to pay kind of homage to their legacy.
And Joséphine Baker, it's a real social, even political message.
Absolutely, because I think she comes from a lineage that I ascribe to people like James Baldwin as well, who are not only artists and have this deep love for France and the freedom that France gave them, but are political commentators that did put their lives on the line to stand up for what is right. And so I think they are the people that we're looking up to right now. They are the people that we kind of seek for guidance.
I could go back to the 20s tomorrow, I think, living in the 1920s.
Away from the bright lights, meanwhile, a vision of haute couture that's far less lucrative. Olivier Saillard, formerly curator of fashion museums, is these days artistic director of the Azzedine Alaïa Foundation and also of Shoemakers Western. He writes and performs on the theme of fashion and art. His fifth play, conceived within a cycle called Mode Povera, is titled Les Vêtements de Renée, or Renée's Clothes in English.
Renée is my mother. She died pretty much at the same time as the pandemic, but not of COVID. We just spent several months with her. She was very old. With my brothers, we had to handle the inevitable situation of working out what to do with her clothes after she died. But I thought, I've been a curator at fashion museums, director even. I've made inventories of all the dresses in the world, from the 18th century to the present day. There was simply no question of me doing nothing with my late mother's clothes. So I put them all in cardboard boxes, absolutely everything. Then I waited. Then one day, as by this point we'd started working on Mode Povera, I had the idea to work on the clothes that at first glance didn't seem to be of a particular note. With this project, there was no ambiguity. At Moda Povera, we make fashion like we make poems, but we're not trying to sell anything, and I'm pleased about that.
It's an homage to the beauty that can be made out of pretty much anything. Just small things can bring about big transformations. It's about taking something that's had a very specific sort of life and to give it a second life, a whole new sort of dignity. And he really elevated them. The clothes he selected were simple, normal, and he imbued them with a real majesty. It's a really wonderful example of couture. You could see that everyone was really touched by it. We could feel that we were witnessing something special.
All of Renée's clothes were transformed using haute couture techniques. Her handkerchiefs here are transformed into a pair of elegant gloves, a poetic tribute from a son to a mother who used to work as a taxi driver.